I get it. There's a million tutorials. This person says this person says that. Heck, I'm one of these people up here preaching to you guys. How do you know who to trust, or is any of it even useful? I'm here to give you the truth. Let's go. Yo, what's good, guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back. If you're new, think about subscribing and sticking around because I drop videos like this every single day. You're not going to want to miss out. We do it a little different over here. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about YouTube tutorials for mixing, really anything in music production, mastering, recording, any of that. It's all very similar. And I know what you're thinking. I'm on here making tutorials, but I'm just here to give you the truth. I learned everything I know about mixing through YouTube tutorials. So that should kind of give you your answer right there, but let me break it down a little more. So this person on Reddit said they're confident when watching tutorials, but they're clueless when they do it themselves. So they said they've been making music for almost 2 years now, and they recently shifted their focus to making sure they create a clean mix above all. They wanted to start uploading beats to YouTube for a while now, but the overall mix and loudness of their tracks can never compete with others. They use a loudness meter, can't make the mix above 14 LUFS. They've watched countless tutorials on mixing and mastering. They know how to define compression, EQ, limiting, but when they go to mix their track and open a compressor, they just stare at it. They feel like they're trying to fix something that doesn't sound broken, and they don't know how to train their ears. Even if they can hear the problem, they don't know how to find the solution, and they want to know some advice. So there's a lot to unpack here, but it really comes down to one main thing, and that is kind of the difference between practice and game time, right? In sports, you go to practice all the time. You do drills, you run, you do this. You're practicing. You scrimmage maybe, right? It's practice. But then game time is where you implement those things where it really counts. The same thing goes with mixing. Watching these YouTube tutorials like this one right here, this is practice. This is doing the drills. This is getting the fundamentals down. But until you know how to implement it in a game when there's people trying to stop you or a million other variables that you've never foreseen, you have to be able to adapt. That's actually mixing. So yes, tutorials, Reddit, forum posts, all that are great, but you have to be able to implement it in a real life setting. And that's, in this person's case, when they pull out the compressor plugin, they know how to define compression. They probably know what a ratio is, a threshold. They can recite to you the word for word definition, but they don't know how to use it. And this is totally normal. This comes from learning a lot, but not implementing it. It's kind of broken down into two stages. There's understanding the technical side of it. What's a ratio? What's a threshold, right? What does an EQ do? What is 200 hertz? And then there's the artistic side of how much 200 hertz should I remove? What should I set my ratio and threshold at? How can I hear what they sound like in a context of my song and not just this YouTube tutorial where they broke it down for me and showed me the before and after? So yeah, tutorials are great. Trust me. I'm not just saying this because I make them. I still watch them all the time. I love it. That's how I learned everything I know. But I also implemented it in actual mixing. So I learned the technical side of it on YouTube, etc. And then I learned the artistic side by implementing it, practicing it, putting my own spin on it, getting your hands dirty, seeing what actually works for you and what doesn't work for you. Another thing that stood out to me was they said they're trying to fix a problem with something that doesn't feel broken. And what they mean is they're trying to implement these mix tricks and mix tips, clickbaity things that we see on YouTube. They're trying to implement those into their mix when they don't need to. They don't realize they don't need to because they think they need to because that mix trick, the tutorial, it sounded great, right? That soothe sidechain trick that they saw, it sounded amazing in that song, in that tutorial. But then they go to put it on their song and they're like, why am I doing this? I don't really hear the difference. I don't hear the problem. And that's because all of these like tricks, and I do some of these videos where I'll like show you one trick. I try to do mostly like philosophy and ideas so you can implement it anywhere, but there is some cool tricks out there, don't get me wrong. But you don't implement all of them in every song, every time. They're different tools to have in your tool belt, but you don't use a screwdriver for every job. You don't use a hammer for every job. You learn how to use a hammer, you learn how to use a screwdriver, you learn how to use all these tools, and you pull them out as needed. That's where the artistic side comes in being creative and knowing when to use what tool. That's the audibles you need to pull while you're actually working. You go to YouTube to learn how to use the screwdriver, you learn how to use the hammer, but then you got to go off on your own and learn when to use what and how to use them, with expertise, how much to use them, what can substitute for what. Add your own characteristic to it. So what I would say to this person and to anyone who feels like they're in this stage of mixing is you could keep watching tutorials. There's nothing wrong with it. But if it's overwhelming you, just chill on the tutorials, pull up your DAW, get to work, implement it. Find some free tracks online, work on tracks you've already done, remix them. Just get your hands dirty, implement these tricks, try to take it a step further, take it a step back, make your own thing. Just test things out, even if it's not, an official release. Just get your hands dirty, and yeah, that's how you train your ears. Just over time and experience. You can't fast track that. You can fast track the technical side of things with tutorials, threads you can look up. You could just Google what is a ratio. You could learn all that in a day if you really wanted, but how to implement it with expertise and mastery, you can't fast track that. You just got to put the reps in the gym. So that's my thoughts on YouTube tutorials. They're amazing, but they're only half of the story. Nobody can inject the expertise into you like they can the technical side of what is a ratio. You have to go and learn yourself, and that's how you train your ears. There's no way or no one that can fast track that for you. If there was, trust me, I would do it. I'd be rich. And I would feel really good doing it. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Let me know down in the comments below. If you have any video suggestions, let me know. I might do it. Who knows? I always appreciate it, though. Say what's up to me in the comments. Anyways, guys, Inswain with Inswain Audio. I'll see y'all tomorrow, man. Peace.